it's gonna fall. I think it's going to fall. Let's bump it against this thing. Shit. Come on, stay. Why won't you stay? Why won't you stay? Why stay? Why won't you stay? Okay. Let's be clear. Listening. August 22nd, I believe. August is almost over. I was just writing in my journal and realized I should work on speaking. Speaking instead of writing. Speaking and expressing myself through my voice. Like not just the words and whether I sound nice or, but actually communicating communicating feeling and you know, if you say the same words, the same phrase, it can change completely based on how it's said. You could say completely opposite things by saying, you know, let's hook up in the versus let's hook up in the city. Like I've been journaling and I'm like, okay, it's in order for me to express the truth, my words get understood differently. Is I write a lot, right? If I don't write a lot, then my words will get misunderstood by some. Even if it's like 90% of people understand me, there'll be 10% at least that completely don't understand my words, not to mention the billions of people that don't speak my language. And I've been watching a lot of Red Note, which is all in Chinese. I don't understand a word. But I'm studying how they sound or how they express themselves. They're very expressive, Chinese people versus Korean people. Well, Korean people are expressive as well, in a different way. You can understand Korean if you understand it. Oh, 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 and oh. Koreans are very, oh, 그래, oh. But Chinese are very, they have a certain, almost like a, anyways, it's an attitude. It's attitude, inflection. So if I learn a language, it's not just learning words, vocabulary on Duolingo or whatever. I have to really study the tone and the mannerisms, facial expressions. And I don't know, I feel like maybe being alone, my facial expressions have been limited. Amanda used to say she understand everything from my facial expressions because she doesn't speak, I didn't speak Portuguese when I first came. Because I think in real life, people are they spend all their time hiding their emotions or hiding what they're thinking. Like a game of poker, they're trying to have a poker face. Or they're just straight up lying about everything. And they gotta hide that lie. And they spend their entire life lying. Like actors are kind of scary the way they can lie. And you know Hollywood is full of apple juice. And some people say it's because they wanted to get over so that they could brainwash us. But also, like, it's not just them behind the screen, it's them in front of the screen. The actors and actresses they all change their names to hide the fact that they are apple juice. They all change their names. They're all like blonde, blue-eyed even, but really they are apple juice. And I think it's because they spend every day of their life lying. So it's natural to them. They make the best actors and actresses because for 3,000 years they've been lying. They've been pretending to be good neighbors and good people. They've been pretending to care about other people, but really they've been not caring. It's in their religion not to care about other people, to only care about other apple juice. They are, in their religion, the only true gods, and everyone else must serve in them. So anyways, don't get negative. This is the one aspect that everything has a light and dark. Taoism, a pro and a con, everything. Having a lot of money, yeah, it's good, but it has a con too. It separates you. It makes you less empathetic. There's always a con to everything. Pro and con of Mago. Today's session, I did 4 puffs of Mago, and I wrote in my journal that better to bring that down to 3. I don't want to keep going up to 4 or 5. It used to be at 2, and right now I'm at 4. So, like 6 months. Right? If after 6 years I continue to let that go, it'll be like 10 puffs, 20 puffs, right? So I want to keep it down to 2, so I need to do 3 next time. Mago was 4 puffs, and then tea of perilla oil and ginseng. Very excellent combo. A cup of that, and in place of meditation for 20 minutes, I did a 5-minute, 100% focus on hand washing pair of underwear in the sink. Should I be talking more to the camera? To myself? To myself that someone says I look like Jackie? I don't understand. What compels someone to take time out of their day to say something literally meaningless? And it's not like original either. It's like a lot of people that do this. They're like robots, right? When a lot of people, if you see an Asian person, a lot of people in Latin America will be like Jackie Chan. They spend time. They see an Asian person and they say it, they type Jackie Chan. If it's online, they'll type it out. Like imagine that's the last thing you do in your life. Like write, click, submit. Like you just have a sudden heart attack. Or a plane hits your house. What were you doing when you died? Yeah, I got hit by a plane. Right when I was typing Jackie Chan to an Asian guy that I saw. And there's millions of people that do this. It's probably thousands of people in my lifetime have spent 6 seconds at least thinking about me and then saying out loud Jackie Chan to themselves or others. Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan. It's Jackie Chan. Yeah, it just that I'm just blown away. It's very like there's a lot of people taking up a lot of space, polluting the planet. There's a lot of lives on this planet. But a lot of them are just spending time doing the same thing. It's a lot of carbon copy people. This Gui Nalil, 10 billion Gui Nalils. I don't even know how to say their name. Guineliels. What the fuck kind of name is it? Guineliels. There's hundreds of millions of them. There's a million Guineliels who will see an Asian person and want to spend time telling other people, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan. And it's not the first time that person has done it in their life. So they probably do it once every 4 months. Adds up 6 seconds each time they do it. It probably adds up to like 6 hours of their entire life will be spent robotically when they see an Asian person thinking Jackie Chan, having to say it to others. Like it's something they've been since they were 7, since they saw a Jackie Chan movie. And now they're like 28. And then when they're 58 doing it, even though Jackie Chan's long dead. Is he still alive? I don't think he's alive. He might be alive. But either way, he's hasn't made a movie since 1995. So I'm sure Gen Z doesn't even know who Jackie Chan is. Like my niece and nephew, I don't think they know who Jackie Chan is. They're like 18, 15. Anyhow. What else was I talking about in my journal? My journal. I didn't want to do a session today. I was being lazy. I was just on my phone, on the hammock. And I wanted to meditate. I wanted to journal. I wanted to do a Mago session. But I felt lazy. Felt kind of down, negative. Kind of in a self-hating vibe. You know that vibe where you think about a person, a random person even. It might be someone close, it might be someone who's not close. And you think about them thinking about you. Like it's a random thing, like you're walking to your car door, you'll just think about someone who may have been close to you or is not close to you at all, and you think, they probably hate me, or they probably don't like me. Randomly, that would happen today. And I would come up with reasons why they don't like me. Oh yeah, because I'm this, I'm that. Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. So randomly, I'll think of a person, and my next thought will, just like this person, another Jackie Chan, ha ha ha. I told you, these people are robots. Like they're not original. And there's 100 million of these people. An Asian person go, Jackie Chan, they spend time. They spend valuable time of their life doing this. It's insane. But like literally, like at least it's better than what I do, which is thinking about a random person, thinking how that person probably doesn't like me, and then coming up with reasons why they don't like me. And I was writing, I was like, why does this random thought come in my head? This thought process. And I was like, maybe there's like some really demonic guy meditating against me. It's like my enemy, and they just spend hours trying to get you to think about not being liked by someone or being down on myself or self-hating. It's really a self-hate thought. And I was wondering, like, maybe there's an entire army making think self-hate thoughts, just like the entire music industry. Well, at least the music aimed at black and brown urban people, all that rap music that's about having dysfunctional families, dysfunctional relationships, toxic dysfunctional relationships, treating women like hoes from different area codes, And men like the only reason for them to exist is to get money. Consumerism, and criminality and violence. The entire music industry built to poison people's mind works. It really works. You can see it working. But maybe they didn't stop there. Maybe they kept going. And they make all people's music tailored to making everyone self-hate themselves. Like maybe not just words, but like even like beats or certain vibrations or certain hidden frequencies. That's right, because you can just listen to an instrumental, a beautiful instrumental from Sade, or and feel like really meditative and really lifted, right? No words. But maybe there's other beats that are so quiet you can't even detect it. And that music is meant to make you fearful and doubtful, self-doubt, self-hate. And maybe it's everywhere. And we're all getting attacked this way to make us not do anything to make our lives better. We stay stuck in under the control of the evil slave masters. Apple juice. But yeah, this is what this is about. I'm on journals, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna journal. But now I was like, what? Maybe I need to listen to myself. I've always said I need to do this. This is so much better, and I can speak faster than I can write. I can speak better than I can spell. Sometimes I can't spell, and I have to stop and be like, how do I spell? That's dumb. You don't have to worry about how do you spell when you talk out loud. And of my face, if I can be expressive and express the truth of what I'm saying within the tones and facial expressions and mannerisms and emphasis, right? When you're writing, you can't bold and italicize thing. Every little letter. You can't express feelings unless you are willing to sit there typing away. Here I can say a one word with a lot of expression. It would take 100 words on paper or in my phone typing. Here I can just be silent and let you see my eyes. You can never capture that writing in a journal. But what's stopping me from doing it? One, I don't have phone space to sit here and talk or not talk, be silent. For an hour. I'm trying to make it about an hour. That's how long the Mago lasts. But the live system works. It keeps me it's put on the cloud, right? So it doesn't take this on my phone. That was the big problem. Phone was a phone's memory space, and then going back and deciding whether or not to upload it. This just automatically uploads, basically. Would have to learn how to talk. Amanda's always been yelling at me. I don't talk. I wish I hadn't. I wish I didn't have to talk, but I understand I have to talk. I just wish I didn't have to. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I've been trying to reclaim my own true voice just because my voice is not my real voice. That's the problem. I don't like my voice because it's not my real voice. The words I'm saying are words that I learned to say. Language, the English language, I was forced to learn that because my parents moved to the USA. So instead of Korean, I don't speak my ancestors' language. If my ancestors wanted to reappear and tell me something, I wouldn't be able to understand them. They'd speak to me in Korean and I wouldn't be able to understand them. So anyways, I think everyone is getting zapped. There's something hidden in all the music, and even like if you open up social media, who's to say they're not automatically playing a hidden sound? Who's to say that my phone sitting over in the corner, I'm not using any apps, all my apps are closed, who's to say it's not secretly playing a hidden sound? A certain vibration that's zapping our will, zapping our self-belief, zapping our self-love. Who's to say they haven't I mean, if I were them and I could print all the wealth, if I owned all the corporations, if I owned all the countries, to say I wouldn't invest in all these companies that spent 2 or 3 decades connecting everyone to a brainwashing sight and hearing. So who's to say, you know, all of us that have decided to be activists or people who are dissidents who disagree with the powerful, we haven't figured out a sound to make us feel like shit. Who's to say other people who are on the fence sound telling them to be afraid? Right? Maybe they've got a feeling for a sound for every feeling, and they control how everyone feels. I think maybe a good idea to put my phone like outside of my hearing range. Whether or not they are doing that, they will be doing that. Best to start now, or they will be doing it more and more. Phones have been around about 20 years. Less than that, 15. They're learning still. And they're gonna be cranking it up more and more. Yeah, so I've been leaving my phone, like, you know what, I fall asleep using social media. And I think some of the apps keep running, like in loop, on whatever social media I last watched. Whatever, someone talking, a little clip of someone talking. It'll repeat like for 3 hours, and in my dreams, it's like affecting my dreams. I think this is really bad to do. I think that's why I'm down. I'm not in control of my own dreams anymore. Whatever is playing on my phone has hijacked my dreams. So this is what these reflections are about. Otherwise, I may go on months doing that and not realize I'm never stopping to look at it and be like, oh, that's not good to do. My sleep and dream space is being it's not clean. I need to have a clean dream space in order to have a clean day when I'm awake. Today was a dirty mind game day. Dirty mind game of self-hate day. I'm a bad person. This person must think I'm a bad person. All these people think I'm a bad person. All these people don't like. Yeah, all my flaws. And it's true. Like, I wouldn't like me either. Oh yeah, whatever. Blah 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 blah. Jackie Chan. Can't even spell Jackie Chan correctly. These people. Itchy hot. Could one do now that I am having a down day? I should reflect on why down days happen and what are some signs that it's happening, and how do I manipulate it before it fully continues to cause a negative or worsen my existence. Stop thinking about other people see you. It's not important how other people see you. If you're thinking about it, then it's not really authentic, right? I mean, when you think about how other people think about you, then you start to adjust how you behave around them, right? To reinforce the good things that they think about you, or you try to correct the bad or hide the bad things that they think about you, whatever. The point is to escape that, what's it called, hamster wheel? I'm trying to escape that hamster wheel, because then I'm under control. And the external that's controlling everybody, they intend to do harm with that control. It's not a good relinquishing of control. To allow the external to affect us is going to allow the apple juice to enslave and destroy us. So we have to completely wall up and fortify our air defense against worrying about external opinions. So I need to cut it off right when it starts to happen. I can think about other people and I can completely redirect my attention, not think about whether they no longer like me or not, or think about why they don't like me, or even think, oh, that person likes me, or agrees with me, or disagrees with me, or whatever. I should instead think about being grateful of and find something good about them to be grateful about. Oh. Even if it's not something to be like, oh, they do this, they do that for me, or they did this for me, or they did that for me. It's not like that. It's like more like I experienced this great memory with them. You know, this person took time out of their day and spent time with me, and we created a great memory. It could be just a simple conversation that we had one time. It could be anything. Just their presence, just being at a event, adding to the energies, whatever. I guess that's what Kelani has been screaming at me. But it's the how she was screaming at me, I wasn't willing to hear it. Like, we do need to be grateful for each other's energy that they brought to something. Or lessons as well for people that are very much hated, justified or not, whether that person, other people have done you wrong or is a terrible, evil person. They certainly taught a lesson that can be valuable. So I'm trying to be grateful to the slave masters, the apple juice. Trying to be grateful to them for destroying the planet and plunging the world into a million wars and conflicts. Because it's teaching us a lesson. It's really teaching us a lesson in how to love each other. And not just love each other when it's convenient. Really love each other when it's under extreme duress, in the most extreme climates and universe that we're all under. This extreme slavery system where everyone has scratched and clawed and cannibalized each other to survive in the slave hold of the apple juice slavery ships. We're all in it. Just gonna repeat to myself what I'm gonna do going forward. I'm gonna stick to this. Certainly uncomfortable, and I'm gonna make myself comfortable. I'm going to work on my speaking voice. You know, might as well. I don't like my voice. Okay, change it. Your voice is not a real voice. You fucking picked that up. There's somebody you probably tried to imitate when you were 4. And subconsciously you've been imitating that voice. It's not your real voice. Jeffrey voice that you don't like. Imitate another voice. I like Sean Connery. Why? Because I watched Indiana Jones a lot. And he was so... His voice was so commanding. So grandfatherly and wise. I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne. Let the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky. Let my armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky. I think that's what he said. So yeah, why don't I practice that voice? I have a giant ass Adam's apple. Use it, motherfucker. My nephew made fun of my Adam's apple. I was like, you're mean. Why are you bullying me? Who taught you this? Like, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was saying, look, you got a big Adam's apple. You should be using it. Talk with a deep voice. I definitely chose a squeakier, high-pitched voice. Right? Like, I could have talked more like Barry, but I chose a white guy voice, basically. Jeff's voice is like a white guy voice, or an imitation of a white guy's voice from some white guy on TV or movies or in my school or whatever when I was 4 or 5 years old. And that's the voice I imitated. Not knowing that I'd get a big ass Adam's apple that my future nephew would make fun of me about. Like, I should have imitated Barry White when I was 4 or 5. I should have followed that path so that by the time I'm an adult, my voice would be like $1 million narrative voice. They would hire me to be like, coming soon to a theater near you. In a world where apple juice control everything, and they play subconscious sounds through all our devices to control and manipulate us with slave vibrations, forcing us to be controlled to their empire, making them richer than any human can ever be, making them own millions and millions of slaves, doing their bidding in a world. I'll go ahead and start telling my story, my life story in that voice. And then I'll take clips of that to put all my videos over. Like my live videos that I've taken. In a world where the apple juice created a war between my country, a civil war. They allowed very small percentage become extremely wealthy. allowing millions to starve on the streets, landless, forced to slave and provide 8 hours of work to the super rich, leaving them with only 1 hour of work to work on themselves and their own families. People don't think about life that way. But very recently, Koreans used to think about life that way. This was life before money. Korea didn't have money until like 20 years ago. Maybe 150 years ago. 150 years ago, Koreans didn't use money. The root of all evil, they didn't have it. What they used to do was offer their work. But at some point, Koreans, as rich people get richer, they acquire more and more land. So I've been studying my ancestry a lot, but I've been tiptoeing around my grandfather. What I knew of him was he was extremely well loved by all my aunts and uncles. And I'm talking about my grandfather on my father's side for now only. Just because there is a disparity here. He was extremely well loved. I'm sure he was extremely generous. I've tipped on my grandfather, but after a Mago session, a random thought popped up about this old white man who used to go to his house every once in a while. And I was four or five. And I don't remember much about him. He was married to a Korean woman. And he lived in this big, tall house. It was like a dark castle in the eyes of a 5-year-old. It was like a evil castle in my eyes. My sister, she was like 8. 8, 9, 10, whatever. 12. We kept going to their house every so often. Just to say hi and whatever. And for me, that house was always like... And recently, I just randomly popped in my mind. I was like, why did we go to that old man's house? He was definitely a pedo. Like, as a kid, I knew that man was not right. I didn't like that man. But we would go there as if they were like family, like as if he was our uncle. And we'd have to go like bow to him and like sit next to him, sit on his lap, like weird. Right, like as your kid. And I didn't like him. So I asked my sister, I just messaged her, hey, remember that guy? I think it was called Mr. Herger. We had to go to Mr. Herger's house all the time. What was that about? I messaged my sister that. And almost up to an hour. Let me finish this story. And I was like, so she was telling me all this stuff that I never knew. But he worked for the U.S. government. He was stationed in Korea. So he married a Korean woman there, brought her back to the U.S. And that woman was a poor girl that was born in the same neighborhood as my dad's sister, older sister. So my grandfather, my grandpa, that's what I try to say. My grandfather, that's why I confused that. Grandpa pretty much adopted this poor girl. Yeah, turn up on. My grandfather adopted this poor girl because she was poor and she was a good friend of my dad's sister. My dad's sister was the richest girl in town because grandfather was the richest guy in town. Grandfather owned not 100 acres of land, not 1,000 acres of land, not 10,000 acres of land, not 1,000 acres of land, not 40,000 acres, more than 40,000 acres of land, right? A single acre of land, probably good for a family of 6, mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, son, daughter. And in a country where 90% of the population owned, and the 1% owned 90% of the land, and then the 0.001% owned the rest. So my father's father, my father, my grandfather, he was one of the 1,000 richest people in the country. Right, the country has, say, 30 million people at the time. It's a country the size of Florida, maybe. Yeah, he owned enough land for 50,000 families to live on. Did it have 50,000 families in it? 50,000 times 6 people in a family? 300,000 people? Probably not. Probably a lot of that land is just wild, empty land without... It's important to go find it, that land. I want to find that land. Oh, it's in North Korea. About 100 miles from Seoul. But Google Maps shows on this land is a big... I just made a connection. This is why I want to reflect on this. This is why talking out loud is good. You can hear thoughts. Talking to myself, I just realized he owned this land, and I looked it up based on what my father's sister, Judy, Ryan's grandmother, she said she was born between these two cities. So I looked up um, on Google Maps the midpoint between those two cities, and I said, well, 50,000 acres with the midpoint of these two cities, and there's like a lake. There's a beautiful big lake there. And I was trying to see whether it's like a lot of farmland or if it's been developed into a new big city or what became of it. That's the land that belongs to me and my family. Right? I was like, wow, okay, there's a big lake there. Beautiful lake. And then I a quirk memory that has always popped up here and there is that my grandfather loved ice skating. And something about him being a professional ice skater. Like professional ice skater. They had professional ice skating back then. I highly doubt that. But if my grandfather was super rich and he had a giant ass lake there in North Korea where it gets really cold, and I was just making that connection now. I was like, oh yeah, that lake would freeze over. And it would be an ice rink. And the coolest thing to do on that frozen lake surface is buy ice skates from America. Or Japan at that time. I'm sure Japan at that point as well. We're talking about like 1935, 1940, 1920s. Look up when ice skating came to Korea. Note to self. Anyways, so I found a lake that my grandfather used to ice skate on. I was like, holy shit. And I used to tell people, because I used to say, yeah, my grandfather was rich. He was rich because he owned an ice skating rink. That's the ice skating rink. He didn't build an ice skating rink on concrete with fake ice. It was a real ice skating rink from a big ass beautiful lake that would freeze over in the winter, and then he just needed to buy ice skates. And what else would he do but ice skate a lot because he doesn't have to work. He just needs to have fun ice skating. And that's literally me. That's what I would do. If I was rich, I would just be surfing. Ice skating and surfing is the same thing. It's just a difference in temperature. Cold enough temperature, you're skating on top of the ice. Warm enough temperature, you're surfing over the water. This is my grandfather. That's why I'm in Brazil. Because of kite surfing and foil surfing. I'm doing exactly what my grandfather would have done. So anyways, I found the land and I just reconfirmed it. And I'm realizing, yeah, my grandfather probably had anywhere between 500 and 10,000, but definitely less than 50,000 slaves, human slaves, working for him while he was spending all his time. I'm trying to imagine what kind of tricks and moves he would do on an ice skating rink. Did he like a tight-fitting Olympic figure skating outfit and do tricks? A triple lux and do this on the tiptoes really fast. I know you tried it once, grandfather. I would have done the same. And then claim himself to be the best. I am the best Korean foil surfer in Brazil. I'm a professional because I'm the best Korean foil surfer in Brazil. I'm gonna put that on my Instagram profile. I'm the best Korean foil surfer in Brazil. Woohoo! Wow, my vibes have gone up. I am no longer suffering from self-hate at this moment, whereas all day today I was. So this session that I didn't want to do today, I was lazy. Go do that session you're lazy about when you're down. It'll probably put you on the path back to where you need to be. Back to loving yourself. But yeah, my sister and I fought about our grandfather. I kind of believe I hold a lot of guilt. I hold a lot of guilt about being privileged, being blessed, as the Israeli guy used to say. Instead of thanking me, he would say, "I'm blessed." Okay, that's not the same as thank you for driving all the way, taking time out to help you do a favor, and kindliness, instead of being, "Hey man, thanks, I really appreciate you." You would say, "I'm blessed." And it was like I could hear in the tone of how he said it that he wasn't appreciating me at all. He was treating me like I was his slave. And he was saying like, "I'm blessed that you're my slave. I'm blessed that I have been born of a certain cult that has enslaved the world, and you are my slave. I'm blessed." And I was like, yeah, this is a weird vibe. I was living with this Israeli for 3 months. He had begged me to let him stay in this small room in my house. And at that time, I was like really starting to believe Israelis are evil. And I was like, that's not spiritual of me. The spiritual thing of me needs to not racist to think that. The spiritual person of me needs to be loving and open-hearted towards everyone. So I was like, okay, I'll learn to love thy enemy, right? As Christians used to say, love my enemy. I shouldn't hate this person. I'm gonna offer him ship. I'm gonna be kind to him. I gave him a really low rent for the room just to, develop a good friendship with him. I offered him many opportunities, ideas. I offered him many talks, late night talks, trying to help him spiritually. He was kind of depressed guy. He smoked cigarettes, I think, to handle that depression. He did lots of drugs to distract himself from he did Magu not to expand his mind, but to distract himself. And music, he was always listening to. What happened? Did my phone freeze? No, it's still counting. The video camera is black. I need the video camera. I think it's first. No. What is this? Someone called my phone and it made my screen go black. I don't know if it's still recording. The live counter is still going up. 73, almost 74 minutes. So it's not frozen. Hitting the front camera, back camera button doesn't work. Anyways. Oh, maybe they banned me or blocked me because I was talking about the story about them. They control these platforms and they don't want us. Truth. So they're censoring us. Alright. I'll save that story for later. It's a crazy story. We'll end this call now.